All right. So this story for this week is the power of tefillah. It's an amazing story. You might have heard this before. The Chazon Ish writes in his letters that a tefillah that a person prays, it's like one of the strongest things that we could have. There is no tefillah that goes empty, and there is no word that a person begs from Hashem. It comes from the source of a Jewish soul that won't do what it is. Maybe it happens now, the answer to the tefillah, or later, maybe this year, next year, whenever it is, or it could be generations later. But that tefillah will certainly work. So there's a famous story, famous person in Yerushalayim, and he became Choser B'Teshuvah years ago. And he's amazing. People that know him, they know whatever he does, there is a beracha in it. He starts a series of shiurim. Many people flock to it, and he starts an institution extremely successful. His name is Rabbi Baruch Hyman. Baruch Hyman lives in Yerushalayim, and so he spoke. He spoke about the secret of his success, and it's a very interesting story. So going back in history, around 60 years ago, the hero of our story is a person named Zalman Eren. Zalman Eren used to be the Minister of Education in Israel, in the Ben Gurion government. And he was very close to him, and he was a big fan. He was a huge fan of David Ben Gurion. And he himself was not Shomer Torah Mitzvot. However, his wife would have certain spices of Judaism. And for example, she would light candles Fridays. She would actually light candles on Fridays. And she also knew how strong tefillah is. She would, after lighting the candles, she would pray and ask Hashem, please Hashem, make my children like David Ben Gurion, greatest person living, and he was such a great person, and so on and so forth, and he is our prime minister, so Hashem, make my children like him. So as we know, David Ben Gurion wanted to meet Chazon Ish, wanted to talk to him about certain things, and he wanted to meet with him, and he asked his people to get in touch with his people, and he goes to the house. It's a famous story. That's a historic meeting that he had. He goes to his little house, if you could call it, after Chazon Ish, and before he comes in, Chazon Ish removes his glasses. You know that. He didn't want to look at his face. But he didn't tell him anything, and he accepted him, brought him in, spoke with him, had a long meeting with him. After the meeting, Ben Gurion tells Zalman Eren that Chazon Ish is a genius. He's an amazing personality. He says, when I looked at him, I saw an angel in him. That's what he told Zalman Eren, his fan, his number one fan, and his minister of education. So Eren goes home and tells his wife, you know what the boss said, he saw someone who is like an angel of God. He's like one of the greatest people. And she heard what he said. And this touched her so much that she decided from now on, after I light the candles on Friday, I'm going to ask Hashem that my children should be like the Chazon Ish. Because if this is someone that our boss, our prime minister looks up to, then he must be something really special. So that's what she would pray. Every Friday when she would light the candles, she would ask Hashem, please Hashem, help my children become like the Chazon Ish. And says Rabbi Baruch Hyman, I am the grandson of Zalman Eren. He says, and that's the secret of my success. That this is the prayers that she did, that she prayed years ago. Now they bore their fruit. It's such an important thing. All the poskim they bring down that after a person lights the candles, this is one of the major mitzvot that ladies have, to light candles on Shabbat. So to have proper kavanah, the more kavanah you have, the more you cry from the bottom of your heart to Hashem, that prayer will be answered. When? Okay, whenever Hashem sees fitting. But Be'ezrat Hashem, this is something extremely important to bear in mind. And Hashem should accept all the tefillot. Be'ezrat Hashem. They write that a person should ask for her husband, her children, and the coming of Mashiach Tzidkenu. This is... Alright. So let's start from the top.
I don't know if it's normal or not, but like the camera is jaggedy.
Oh yeah, I don't know. Is it recording?
It's recording, but it's not.
I don't know.
Okay.
Let's see. Whatever happens. It is a mitzvah to light candles on for Shabbat, for the honor of Shabbat. This is kavod, this is honor, and it's a oneg. Oneg means it's a part of the enjoyment of Shabbat, that there is light in the house. Imagine if the house would be dark, then people would be stumbling, falling on top of each other's head, and breaking things, and there will be fighting, throwing things at each other's heads, and everybody would be upset and mad, bumping into the table, bumping into the kids, whatnot, and the food would be spilling. That's why the more light you have, the more pleasure, the more oneg, and the more enjoyment there is. And that's the simple reason that they bring down the karate the Shabbat oneg. You should call upon Shabbat that it should be pleasurable, and this will be part of that pleasure of Shabbat. There's other reasons that there should be the candle, otherwise it would just turn on a lot of lights. A candle, the fire of the candle brings a certain aura of kedusha into the home. That's besides the point. But just on a simplistic reason, it is for shalom bayit. That's what they call it. That it causes and brings shalom bayit. It is better if a person could already get dressed for Shabbat completely before this, because again, it's for the kavod of Shabbat, for the honor of Shabbat. But if there's no time, they're running out of time, it says, oh, by the time you get dressed, it's going to be Shabbat already. So then for sure, we should light the candle before and then get ready. Really, halachically, one candle is enough, based on what we just said. It's for Shalom Bayit, that there should be light. One candle should be enough, but it's already a custom that we light at least 2 candles. One keneged zachor, one keneged shamor. That's already an old custom before the times of the Talmud, even that they bring down that they light 2 candles. And in fact, the Ben Ish Chai brings down that when a person comes into the home and he sees the 2 candles, he should look at the both candles and say, look at one and say this is zachor, look at the other and say shamor, and to have in mind that these candles are for keneged zachor v'shamor. Now, some families have a custom to light more candles. Some do 3, some do 4, some do 5, some do 7, or some do keneged, the amount of the children in the household. Whatever it is, it's custom and it's fine. But the zachor and shamor should definitely be kept, to have that.
If you do 7, you always need to do 7?
If you say beli neder, no. But if you started doing it, then it becomes sort of like a neder, because this is something like you're doing it for the kavod of Shabbat, and you would want to keep that.
If you're traveling. 1 is enough if you're traveling, let's say.
If a person is stuck, doesn't have anything, then yeah. But otherwise, even traveling, just like he takes 1, he could take 2. You know what I'm saying?
If you're in someone's house, let's say you light 7 candles in someone's house, it's like,
right.
Can you do
it's
like
gonna
2?
It's gonna be tough. Then, if they say beli neder, that's easily done. If not, then they might have to do atar nedarim. I'm not sure.
Why would people light 7 candles? Like the minhag?
It's a minhag. It's like again, 7 days a week. Shabbat is the 7th day. It's brought down, that the custom. Not that it's the halakha. It's brought down that some people have that custom. That they should do 7. Yeah, I'm saying it's not a halakha. It's not a halakha. I've seen mekubalim, regular 2 candles, that too. But hey, if the custom is to do it, it's fine.
What about lighting? Sorry, how many kids you have? I've heard people do there too.
Right, I mentioned that. Some people do it like, how many kids they have. It's different customs. It's not a must. Right. Or whatever you want to do. You don't have to carry that minhag necessarily. You could decide. You could decide this is what I would like to do. Beli neder. That would be the best thing. But the more a person has light in the house, the more kavod for Shabbat. Let's say someone doesn't have a timer, so he's gonna say, oh, "No, I don't want to spend so much money, all the electricity. Like let me turn off this light. Let me turn off this light. Keep it off. Sitting in the darkness on Shabbat, it's depressing. Leave it on. Don't worry about it. How expensive is it gonna be? Hashem is gonna pay for it. It's for the kavod of Shabbat. If inside the rooms you don't want to keep the light on, of course, because you want to go to sleep. That's something. But outside, who cares? Leave them on. It's beautiful. Now, a person is a mitzvah to do hidur mitzvah. Hidur mitzvah, that means beautifying the mitzvah, just like we do. It says ze eli ve'anvehu, right? That Am Yisrael, when they came out of Egypt, Hashem split the sea for them. In Az Yashir, it says, "This is my God, and I will beautify him." Ve'anvehu, right? It says, Midrash says, "Ve'anvehu mitzvot, to do a mitzvah na'ah. I'll do the mitzvot in the most beautiful manner that I could." Like it says mezuzah na'ah, the tefillin na'ah, the etrog na'ah. Like to buy the most beautiful thing we can get our hands on in order to beautify the mitzvah. So too, the same here. Like a person should try and get the most beautiful, let's say, candlesticks, like silver, gold, like to do that, and also like to show the beauty and the love that we have for the mitzvah, to buy the best quality oil that would burn the best, and the best wicks, and the best little cups that go in there, like all the things we try to get the best that we can, because this is like to show the love that we have for the kavod of the Shabbat candles. That's why it's brought down in Halachot that a person shouldn't change the baby's diapers or in front of the Shabbat candles, because the kavod that we should have, the respect and honor that we should have in front of the Shabbat candles. Although it's not like the candles of Hanukkah that have kedusha, right? It doesn't have kedusha. But being that it's a mitzvah that we're doing, making beracha on it, for the kavod of the candles, we should do that. By Nerot Chanukah, as you know, it says you can't do things of chol. You can't look at the money to see what coin is this to use that light, right? Because they have a kedusha. There's a difference. It has a holiness. This, we're not talking about holiness. We're talking about kavod, honor. Like you're honoring the Shabbat candles. That's different. It's not kedusha, but it's honor. Honor of the Shabbat candles. And it says in Gemara Masechet Shabbat that a person, they're more careful with their Shabbat candles. Hashem is going to give them children that are Talmidei Chachamim. Ki ner mitzvah v'torah or. As a result of ner mitzvah, a person is careful with the candle of mitzvah, then the children is going to emanate and illuminate the world with their Torah. And that's why, another reason why it's a great thing that a person should pray right away after lighting the candles. Right?
Can you sit down and pray or?
Yeah, for sure. There's no question about that. Generally, as soon as a person performs a mitzvah, that's the best time to pray. Right? Sefer Kavah Yashar brings down that when the moment the person performs a mitzvah, malachim are coming and surrounding him, and then it's him or her, and then when he prays, these malachim will take his prayers up in a much faster and better fashion. So it's the best thing. That's why as soon as you make kiddush, you just perform the mitzvah from the Torah. Time to give the children the beracha. As soon as you light the candles, it's an extremely holy time, the proper time to pray. And as we said from the story, this is an amazing time that the prayers should be answered. Now, it is better that the husband should prepare the candles, whether putting the candles in the candlesticks or to put the oil in there and to prepare the wicks and just have him ready so that his wife, all she has to do is come light him. That's what it is. It says in Tikkun HaZohar, this is not something that's late. It's from way back then. They're part of the mitzvah. They should do it. You know what it says? It says there are 3 major mitzvot that the ladies have to do. It says Hadlakat Nerot. Why does it say Hadlakat Nerot? Just say ner. Just say candle. Right? So they learn from there that only the Hadlakat Nerot means to light the candles. Because only all they have to do is light the candles. The husband has to prepare everything. Like, this way he has a part and portioning the mitzvah of Hadlakat Nerot, lighting the candles. It says in the Gemara, if someone is about to perform a mitzvah, and someone steals that mitzvah, just does it, he has to give him 10 gold coins. Did you know that? He has to pay, because he stole his mitzvah, he has to give him 10 gold coins. There's a question. If a husband went Friday afternoon, before Shabbat, he says, why should you light the candles? I'll light the candles. And he makes a baruch, and he likes the candles. Now, should he pay his wife 10 gold coins or not? I don't know if some women might prefer it. Listen, 10 gold coins is not bad. But it's a back and forth. Some say, yeah, he has to pay her because it's her mitzvah. Others say, true, it's her mitzvah, but it's not stealing the mitzvah. This is different. The husband and wife are one. If he takes it away, then that doesn't mean that he stole it. So he doesn't really have to. So Rabbi says he doesn't have to pay. He brings a lot of poskim that say he doesn't have to pay, but I just wanted to say that there is such a back and forth, between poskim. Some say, yeah, he has to pay. He has to pay 10 gold coins. Not bad, huh? 10 gold coins. I don't know.
Why should he prepare? Because he should be a part of it.
Yes. No, there's more to it. There's a lot more to it. The way the Zohar brings it down, there's a lot more to it. That the husband is the one that prepares it, and then the wife comes and lights it. It doesn't mean that the wife stands there and says, "Okay, I'm waiting." You know what I'm saying? It's something that the husband hopefully will know and do, and if it could be done, that's great. If it could be done, but all right. Now, an important note: when you're lighting the candle, right, you should hold the fire to the wick until most of the wick that's out catches fire. Some people, they're afraid. They just touch the wick and they pull the matches or whatever it is away, and let it light itself, right? But no, the halakha is you have to keep the fire there until most of that wick that's out catches fire, and then when you remove your hand, it'll just be all lit up.
Doesn't that take a while?
What's that?
Doesn't that take a while?
It might take a few seconds. Yeah. So you should have other matches ready, or a lighter, right? Yeah. It'll take. It might take a few seconds, especially if it's a floating wick and it's covered with wax. Until you melt that wax and everything. Yeah. It'll take a few more seconds. True. It won't take a minute.
Why is it that?
Because you want to be the one lighting it, not it lighting itself. Right? And the first thing, just hold it there and just pull the light away, and then this thing is lighting itself up pretty much. So that's the same thing by Halachot of Chanukah. This is how you do it here. Also, they say poskim bring down that a person should hold the fire to the wick. Now, remember, every time a person puts out any type of fire, it's a segula thing that they shouldn't blow on the fire to put it out. They say it's like a neshima, it's like a neshama. When you blow onto the wick and to the fire to blow it out, it's not good. So you should always shake it or go like that to put it out, but not to blow onto it.
It's not just candles.
Not just candles, any fire. Okay, any fire. Not birthday candles. I don't know where that comes from, but birthday candles and all these things they want to blow out. So just take a bod bezan, just go like that, or fire extinguisher. That's what they bring down. The Ravadi brings it down, Chazon Ravadi as well. And okay, now. Interesting halakha. This came up. I think it was an interesting thing last year. One of the ladies went to give birth 2 years ago, and she asked the rabbi in town what she should do, In the hospital, she can't light candles. So this is the Pesach halacha that she got. They said, you can't light, so don't light on Shabbat in the hospital. What you do is, being that you didn't light in the hospital, starting the Shabbat after, you gotta light an extra candle every week from there on. So she got all scared, like, Rabbi, she calls me, like, I said, I'm sorry, I don't want to argue with the rabbi. I was gonna email the rabbi, like, but I didn't want to argue, but Rabbi says explicitly, first of all, in the hospital, they don't let you light candles. That's fine. Just turn take a lamp, one of these night lamps, little lamps, and before you turn it on, make a baracha. Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam shigel shem asasonu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat, and turn it on. You've done the mitzvah. Number one. Number two, this is the Ramah. Ramah in Halachot Resh Tzadik Gimel, I think. Resh Tzadik Samach Gimel. He writes a few different things, and then he writes that if a woman forgets to light a candle one Shabbat, okay, from there on, all her life she has to light 3 candles every Shabbat. That's what he writes. He brings it. He quotes the Maharil, and he writes that these are far out chumrot, far out extreme things, and he's against it. But when it comes to the Haggah in Shulchan Aruch, he brings it. He writes it. This is what they do, because over there he writes that some ladies, they do this. They're accustomed to do like what the Maharil writes. This is what they do. So based on their custom, he quotes this halacha in the book in Shulchan Aruch. When he wrote the Haggah in the Shulchan Aruch, he brings it. So for sure, Maran Shulchan Aruch doesn't have that. He writes Shulchan Aruch, this is not brought down. This is a chumrah. This is a stringency that's brought down, and we don't have that custom. We're not accustomed to it. And Rabbi writes that in our times anyway, because we have electricity and we light many lights in the house, even if she forgot, she does not have to light extra candles in the coming weeks. Right? This is, and a lot of people, they mistakenly, they go ahead and they do this, and it becomes a nether, and you can't just stop that.
It's like a scarlet that she forgot one Shabbat if someone sees.
Yeah, could you imagine, because she was in the hospital giving birth, so because from now on you have to light. I was very surprised. Nobody brings it down. It's a very extra chumrah. Even the Ashkenazim themselves, they write that it's an extra chumrah. So anyway, Baruch Hashem, these days we have plenty of light and we could do it. And again, according to Rabbi Ovadia, you could even use electricity for this, because let's go back to the main reason is to have shalom bayit, and then electricity also is great. Baruch Hashem. Okay, good. We should light the candles where we're going to eat the meal. Okay? That's where we should have the candles. In the room where we're going to be eating. Because that's Onik Shabbat. That's a pleasure of Shabbat, to be able to eat and see the candles, or to be eating within the light. As Sephardim, we don't light the candles on the table, but we light it on a shelf. We put it on the shelf or somewhere near where we're eating. Kabbalistically, they say put it on the south, but I asked Harvi Moshe, he said you don't have to. He says this is what Chacham Etzion would say, you don't have to do it. So I used to be very careful, a special shelf, on the south side to have the candles there. Then we didn't, once he said that, and when we moved, we didn't bother. Just put it somewhere safe. Now, let's say it's a summer, and you lit the candles by your dining room, but it's very hot. You want to go outside in the yard and eat there. Baruch Hashem, nice weather, beautiful weather. You decide you're going to go there. So you're not going to be able to light outside. It's going to be windy, who knows, whatever. Then a person is allowed to light, in a place that you're going to be using, maybe the kitchen, maybe the living room, because you're going to come and go. Maybe wherever, the dining room, we're going to be passing there, you're going to be using it. But for the meal, if you can't see it, you're not there, that's still fine, because we're not going to say, oh no, I'm sorry, you lit the candles in the dining room, that's where you're punished. You have to stay there and eat. it's going to be suffering. It's supposed to be oneg Shabbat. The candles are supposed to bring you oneg and pleasure. Now the person is all, as they say in Yiddish, schwitzing, like, sweating and everything. Why? Because I have to be with the candles. That's an oxymoron. Like, it doesn't work. So therefore, a person must be careful and could go ahead, is allowed to go ahead and eat outside, even though the candles are inside. It's better if you could see them, but if you can't see them either, that is fine. You could do it. However, you should see to it that there is enough light outside. You shouldn't be sitting in the dark outside, because again, we need to make it pleasurable and enjoyable as much as we can, so that the person should not be sitting in the dark and eating outside. Right? The Ben Ish Chai writes, in Baghdad, sometimes in the summer it was getting very hot, and people asked, can we do this even though we lit the candles at home? Can we go ahead and take it outside? And he writes, yes, we'll do it.
If we're eating, like, when someone's going to say guest house, do they like there or at their house?
Again, I think if you're
If
eating...
somebody's going to be eating at someone else's house, they're
okay.
not going to be home the entire night. So, do they light at their, because I know some people sometimes they light at wherever they're going.
So we're going to discuss that. Really, a person, if they're going, it's just eating there, then they share their candles. They don't have to light there at all. And if they know they're going to be coming back and they could safely light the candles at home, then they make a beracha at home, light the candles, and then hopefully when they get back home, the candles are still lit, and they'll just enjoy watching them, or eating a little bit something there and stuff. But we're going to see, what if you're a guest? What's in a hotel, what to do. Be'ezrat Hashem, I was hoping to get to it tonight, but let's go in order. Let's see how far we could go. Chas v'shalom, if a woman is ill, right, and she can't get out of bed and light the Shabbat candles, let's say in the dining room like she always does, so what can she do? Can they bring her the candles and everything that she should make a beracha there to her? The answer is yes, they could. They could bring the candles to her, and she could light it there. And then they could even take the candles, put them in the dining room where everybody, the whole family is sitting and eating. That's fine, right? However, if they don't have to move the candles away, if they could just leave them there, not to move them for no reason, that would be better. Not that we're saying that she's accepting Shabbat with this candle lighting, and therefore the candles become like Hanukkah. You know what happens by Hanukkah? You can't bring the Hanukkah candles to the person and let him light it, and then move the candles elsewhere. Halakha of Hanukkah is different. By Hanukkah, as soon as you light the candle, you've done the mitzvah. That's it. So that's where they have to stay. Whereas on Shabbat, again, the reason is for Shalom Bayit. So when she lit the candle over there, where's the Shalom Bayit? You want the candles where everybody's eating, that's where the Shalom Bayit would be. So therefore one is allowed to move it. Some say because she lit them over here, so they become sort of like muktzeh. That means they're set aside for their mitzvah. So they say not to move it. However, we don't hold like that, because we do not accept Shabbat at that moment, at the moment of lighting the candles, as Sephardim. And therefore, we are allowed to, after she moves the candles, to go. She lights the candles, to take them and move them elsewhere. Unless she's going to be sad, that she's not with her candles and everything. Then for sure, you want her to enjoy, to have the pleasure of seeing her Shabbat candles. That's fine. She could light them, make a beracha and light them, and leave them there. Let's say the Shabbat candles were lit, and they just went out. What's the halakha? You lit the Shabbat candles, they went out.
If you haven't accepted Shabbat, then you should be able to relight it. Yeah.
For us Sephardim, that we don't accept the Shabbat yet, with lighting, so therefore not a problem. Just make sure it's not night yet, and relight them. That's fine. But if you have a doubt, I don't know, maybe it's already Shabbat, you're not sure, maybe it's Ben Hashemashah, maybe it's Shabbat, then, and if you do light it, of course, no beracha, you made the beracha already and you lit the candles, done. but let's say it's already maybe it's Shabbat, maybe it's not Shabbat. In that case, for sure, like you don't want to be over an isur of kindling on Shabbat, like just because of just to do the mitzvah of lighting the candle. So in that case, we do not light the candle, right?
Is there a minimum of how long we're supposed to be on?
No. It's not like Hanukkah. That's the difference. Here, you lit the candle, and hopefully, it should be Shalom Bayit and everything. It's not like, how long. You turned it on, and now it's Shabbat. So, but if it's not Shabbat, sure, go ahead. There's still the mitzvah of creating that Shalom Bayit and everything. For sure, if a person could make sure, like, these days it's easy. You look at your watch, and you know what time is Shekiah, what time is sunset. And based on that, like, if you still got 2-3 minutes before Shekiah, then for sure, person should light him, no baracha, and light. Now, but Ashkenazim, they accept Shabbat with the lighting, so then they can't. What can they do? They could still tell one of the kids that didn't accept Shabbat yet, Moshe, turn this candle on for me. Like, that works.
Do they accept it with the lighting or with the bracha?
Who?
Ashkenazim.
Ashkenazim.
Because they do the bracha after. So let's say you light it, not for me, but whatever. Let's say you light it and then it goes out. Can you light it again and then say the bracha?
Yeah.
Yeah,
because the halacha, what they say is that you accept Shabbat with the end of the lighting. You see
not
the
the
logic?
End of the bracha, though.
No, the end of the lighting.
Okay.
So as soon as you finish, that's when you make the bracha. So let's say you have 7 candles. So obviously the first candle, you still didn't accept Shabbat yet. So the end of that last one, which is, oh my gosh, Ravadi is like so against this whole thing, like, I can't even begin to tell you. But let's say let's say you can't find anyone. Let's say it's already Shabbat. Let's say, you know what, it's not Shabbat yet. Let's say it's sunset. 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock, let's say it's sunset. And you see, the candle went out. But it's still not Sete Kochavim. Let's say it's still within the 13 minutes after sunset. At that point in time, we can't light the candle. No Jew can light it. But you could call Mustafa and tell him, Mustafa, my candle went out. I want you to turn it on because I can't sit Friday night without having my candles on. That you could do directly. You could tell him, turn this on, or else. That's fine. That a person could do it, and that's perfectly fine. We could tell a goy to do it, but a Jew already at that point in time cannot do it. It's sad.
13 minutes after the 18 minutes?
Within, yes, exactly. 18 minutes is always, we're going to talk about that too, about the timing and so on and so forth. 18 minutes is always before sunset. So 13 minutes after sunset, that's the time that we could still tell a goy to do it. This is the Mishnah. This is the Mishnah in Masechet Shabbat, the second chapter. So as far as that much we could do. Okay? But if they accepted Shabbat and it's not yet Shabbat, even Sephardi women, she said, I'm not going to accept the Shabbat with my candle lighting. But then there comes a time she says, I now accept Shabbat. Basically, whatever. She says, Lachadodi, or whatever, however she accepts Shabbat. But then she looks outside and says, oh, wait a minute, it's not even 7 o'clock yet. It's not even sunset. So at that point in time, she could tell one of the kids that didn't accept Shabbat yet, please turn the light on. Even Sephardiya women, that they accepted the Shabbat, they could tell one of the children to go ahead and turn it on.
You have to do something, you have to say or do something to accept Shabbat.
Right. If you don't accept Shabbat, then it'll come automatic. But it's a mitzvah to accept Shabbat at least a few minutes before sunset. It's a good thing.
Just say
I accept Shabbat and you're good to go. Right? In the shul, when they're saying, there's a question when a person accepts Shabbat. Is it when they answer Baruch Hu? Is it when they say Mizmor Shirim Shabbat? Or is it when they say Bo'ik Allah, Bo'ik Allah? Right? These are the 3 options you have. So that's what it depends on. So a lot of the shuls, they say these things already after sunset. So that's not going to help the cause. You want to accept Shabbat a little bit before. That's why over here, upstairs, you know what they do? As soon as they finish Mincha, they say Bo'ik Allah, Bo'ik Allah, Shabbat Maketa, in order to accept Shabbat before sunset. That's what they do. In Israel, most places, the custom is as soon as they finish Alenu, for all those that have been to Israel, as soon as they finish Alenu, the whole shul turns and they start Mizmor LeDavid, and there's Lechadodi. That's it. Right away. They don't say the whole Lechu Lenanena and all that because they want to accept Shabbat as early as possible. But that's, we're going to discuss that later, but for our intents and purposes, that is what to be done.
Single people need to light if they're.
Single people need to light. Yeah, they have to light. It's a mitzvah already that was set up by Chachamim, and they have to light. Let's say like this: husband, his wife Baruch Hashem went to hospital, gave birth. She lit in the hospital either with the electric thing gadget, or she just was illegal. She lit a candle, whatever. She made a beracha. He is at home. He should light candles with a beracha. The husband, even though his wife lit candles in the hospital, he has to light a candle with a beracha as well.
Let's say there's another woman in, let's say your mom.
Then
Should
it's
she
light,
light it or he should light it?
Hey, he's the balabayit.
So he should do it.
Yeah, give him that joy. Let him do it. But you know what? Usually the mom will let him. Knowing moms, they're not gonna let him. You're a man.